let's go. Will, give us an opening.
Let's go! Football fans, who's ready?
Rise and shine. We are starting it up. It is a season premiere of Fantasy Football Fridays. I hope you're ready. I am not. So you're going to have to help me wake up because I am half asleep. But we're doing it now. We're doing it early, and we're doing it every Friday morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., So let's go. This is going to be a little bit more of an introductory Fantasy Football Friday. But I'm Rising Rhino, and we have...
Couple comics here. We're ready. We're going. We're ready for some fantasy football. You know, I don't know much about football. I usually do comics, but let's go. Let's try it out. No, I'm kidding.
Said the liar. Will's got his own show that puts out multiple episodes on comics each week. So you want to check him out, Cup of Comics. He will be my co-host all year round. Just opening the chat. But, Will, just give me a little sneak peek of your morning so far, or your week, before we get into it. Are you half asleep? Did you hear me? You're sleeping, aren't you? Wake up, Will! Will! We lost Will. You might lose some of us because it's so early. It's 5 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock on the East Coast.
I'm hearing... Sorry, I'm just hearing some feedback, so I'm trying to figure out where that's
coming from. Yeah. So we're gonna test things out. We're gonna run through a whole bunch of the segments. We're gonna add segments, adjust some of the segments as we get carousing, and we figure out what works and what doesn't.
Does it? All right. I think we're good audio-wise.
Good audio-wise, sweet. Yeah, we got a lot of kinks to work out as we get used to the show. So.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun. Should be awesome. But how was your week, Will?
Oh, it was good. We had the game last night, so football's back. I am excited about football being back. We had the little lightning delay, but whatever. And now this morning we're running off one brain cell. That's all I got for you guys. One brain cell.
One brain cell, man. Combined, that makes us one brain cell. Okay, so we'll do the best we can, people. Ask your questions throughout the stream. We will answer them at the end of each little segment. The first part, which we're going to have more week by week, but the first one is a little bit tough. It's the wake-up call. We'll get to it in a second, but I'll run through them all. Wake-up call is going to be the fantasy news and notes from the week. So we'll give you all that each week going into the weekend. We can't cover the Thursday night game. It's just games on Sunday for fantasy. And then segment number 2, we got studs, duds, and sleepers. The players that you must start, players you must bench, and then, your waiver wire pickups. So anybody that's, that you got to add, just as simple as that. The flex debate, so a running back, wide receiver, or a tight end that's going in your flex spots. We're going to give you advice on that. Somebody that a little under the radar. And then we got the next segment is trade talk, waiver wire additions. The waiver wire additions are going to be the low-ranked, the low percentage guys that are on rosters, like less than 50% in the leagues. We'll check that up, see who's hot, see who's trending up, and we'll give you our advice on that. Next one is Dynasty stashes and the future gold. So if you're in a Dynasty League or wanting to join a Dynasty League or anything like that, we got some gold for you as the season goes on, the little hidden gems. And then the main segment probably takes most of the time would be the Pick 6. The Pick 6 segment, which is segment number 6, because, I used my 0 brain cells to put that one together. But we're going to give you one quarterback, one running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 defense of the week for your week-to-week fantasy rosters. And you'll hear the pick 6 from each of us. And then we'll bounce back and possibly debate on that and tell you why Will is wrong and I am right. Or vice versa. But just making sure you're listening. Oh, drinking tea. That's tea. That's not coffee.
Yes.
I drink the coffee. He drinks the tea. And then we're going to close it up, wrap it up, and then like I said, we're going to be answering questions at the end and in between each segment. That's just a few little things that we're going to be doing. So, beginning show, the season premiere, Final Fantasy Fridays. Yeah, I'm asleep. I'm asleep. Um, Fantasy Football Fridays. I want to do my Final Fantasy show. That's going to be coming after the CFL. But I'm excited. I'm pumped. Will, this is going to be great. We got to wake up early on Fridays for the football season. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be glorious, and
Yeah,
I'm ready for the season. Will.
me too. I mean, it is what it is. Got to get up early for football. You got to get up early for football. Who doesn't want to get up early for football? I want to get up early for football. But we're here. We're ready. And yeah, I think I'm ready to jump into the segments if you are. So what do you
You're
want to
ready
do?
to jump into segments? I was hoping you would just talk for a little bit so I could take that. That was dive. That you said jump. You
Oh,
diving. Oh,
there we go.
but I was hoping you were going to talk for a little bit so I could take a nap and
Ah,
wake up if that makes
yep.
any sense.
Gotcha.
But anyways, we're gonna go with fantasy news and notes. There's not much out there. There's one thing that I've seen. Uh, McCaffrey with a little caffey situation. So they put
Hmm.
him on the injury report, and that sucks because I got McCaffrey on a bunch of my fantasy rosters because people are like, oh yeah, he's injury prone, so we're not gonna pick him, and then he falls to me, and I have to take him, and he's already injured before the season starts. So that
Yeah,
kind of pisses me off.
that happened to me in about 2 leagues. You know, he fell to me, and I was like, sweet. And then a couple of leagues, he was picked right before I did, and I was like, sweet, because I saw the calf injury news. Um,
Ugh.
yeah, I mean, it's not surprising, but it is disappointing that we're already starting off the season week one with some calf injury news for McCaffrey. That's kind of how last year started off. It was a calf, and then it was bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Um, I didn't even realize that your Achilles could be bilateral, like two sides. I don't know. So you heard it on both
Everywhere around the
ev-
Achilles.
everywhere.
Cost them what, a baker's dozen amount of games. I think he missed 13 games last year.
Yeah, and I mean the games he did show up for were great, right? He probably won some people a few games, but he probably lost people a dozen more because he wasn't there on the roster. So that sucks. You know who has a similar injury is Devon Achan over in
Oh yeah, the
Miami.
8 chain against my Colts.
He's got also calf soreness, if you will. He's on the injury report, but all signs indicate that he should be playing.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Uh,
questionable, but that's what I read. Multiple reports said he's gonna go, which I'm like, come on, don't go, take the day off. But me being a Colts fan, so
but his backup is also injured. Jalen Wright, I believe, is out.
oh, Wright's out. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that
no, well, it's
means
not. I don't want to wish injury, but
right.
I'm just. It's good
We
for the
did.
Colts, but not good for just being a general nice human being.
So that means that Ollie Gordon, the rookie running back, should be stepping up for the Miami Dolphins. Should a number two running back be required that day?
Mm,
Mm,
watch out.
that might be something for a later segment.
Yep, yep, yep.
uh,
Jumping ahead, looking ahead, a little foreshadowing there by Will.
there
All
you
right,
go.
so that'll have more information because there's going to be lots more injuries and all that jazz heading into the season. So that's segment one. We would answer your questions. No questions so far because everybody's sleeping. They don't know we're running a show. It's our first show, but it's going to be a little
Before we
crazy. It's going to be loud and all that jazz.
Before we move on, one note about DSTs for next week, Philly DST. Look out for that because you had Jalen Carter with his
Uh,
spittle incident, and he might be suspended next week. So that'll lessen the run stopping and possibly pass rushing ability of the Philadelphia Eagles defense next week. But
Yeah,
that's,
it was.
that's a note.
I would say the Eagles' defense looked pretty bad, rusty, disappointing against that Cowboys team. I mean, with Pickens, the offense is better. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's amazing.
Right?
He tore it up last night, but I was I I was disappointed with the secondary, the defensive line. There was no push, no nothing. It looked bad, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to be the one of the best teams all around. So I was shocked.
the Eagles were a few CD Lamb drops away from losing.
Yeah, they could have easily lost it. It was anybody's game. And
Yeah,
I thought, 3 touchdown win wasn't out of the equation there. So I was thinking at least 2 touchdowns. If I was a betting guy, I would have slammed a lot of money on that. But good thing I'm not, because I would have lost a lot of money. So that's why I don't bet, because that was just crazy. That had the biggest spread, -8.5 for the
yeah,
Eagles.
and that
And then
was
there's
yeah,
another one that was the biggest spread, which we'll get to in a little while. But that one should be more of a lock, and I think that spread's even going to go up higher. But we'll tell you that in a little while. But
got it. Yeah,
other
that's what
news and
makes week one
notes.
scary.
What was that?
I said that's what makes week one scary, though. You don't know who's, your teams don't really have a full play until week one, right? A lot of guys are rested during the preseason, so
Yeah,
sometimes you don't know. A
we
little
we,
rest,
we
like you said.
we can only go off of last year. We can only go off what we see in preseason. A lot of players don't play, so it's really hard going into week one. A lot of our predictions probably be wrong, but so are yours. I mean, we're gonna try to do this together.
Yeah,
Like it's just that's what makes it fun. But it should get a little bit easier going forward with the data, the numbers, putting that together, and that we're gonna do later and later. Yeah, the game was a lot closer than we expected. Ridiculous. But real quick before we hop to the next segment, Will, you're a Giants fan. How did you feel about the Cowboys and Eagles? Who did you want to win? Who did you want to lose?
man. If there was a way for both teams to lose, I would take it. But going into it, I would say I was probably rooting for the Eagles. The one factor being Saquon Barkley. Saquon wasn't there. I don't know who, but I have no ill will towards Saquon. I actually love the guy Saquon. I think he's a class act, if you will.
He is. He is.
So um, yeah, I was definitely rooting for the Eagles. Also, I mean, Jerry Jones just makes me upset. Like he
He's
is,
such a dummy. This guy's so idiotic. He needs to hire a general manager,
yeah. So
or at least have the general manager do his job, because there is a de facto general manager, but like he doesn't really exist.
yeah, and I think a couple of times the commentators yesterday did mention that they said things. I'm paraphrasing, but like it's more about the Hollywood and more about the headlines sometimes than it seems about the football with Jerry. And I don't know if I was always like maybe Jerry just walks a different path. But every time you see his actions, it's like I think Jerry just likes to be in front of the camera. So
Yeah, I don't know why when he's like Mr. Frankenstein at like 3,000 years old. But anyways, um, just a little ridiculous. AJ Brown fantasy dud. Luckily, we got this out of the way Thursday. He had, what, one catch at the end of the game? You know what? I watched that whole game. I didn't even see him the whole game. He had no targets, and and I thought he was injured. I'm like, I don't remember hearing an injury. I'm not going to say that he's injured and not playing, because I didn't hear anything. I'm like, he's supposed to be out there. And then at the end, I'm like, he is playing. Where was this guy? That was insane.
yeah, it's man, he just disappeared. You know what though? I will say for fantasy purposes, I stayed away from AJ Brown like the plague. Um,
Yeah, and I stayed away from Devontae Smith.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, both of them. Unless you were telling me they slipped to like the fifth or sixth round, I was not. I was not having it. I was like, good, no.
But if you have Hurts and Barkley, they put up the numbers that they were supposed to.
Yeah,
No, it was 2 touchdowns on the ground by Hurts, and Barkley had a touchdown. I expected more to Barkley, which is that. Like I said, the Cowboys have at the bottom, and their defense actually did all right, which were pretty darn good, especially against the wide receivers. But that's pretty wild.
yeah.
All right, we'll head into segment 2: studs, duds, and sleepers. Um, yeah, so the must start, the must bench, and the waiver wire pickup. So the must start, the guy that I'm leaning towards. I was looking through all the players. It's kind of boring. It seems pretty easy for the weekly fantasy is Jamar Chase against the Browns. That's I mean
Right.
there's that's it. I was trying to find something else, but it's a slam dunk against the Browns. That's it, straight up.
Right.
That's why. But there's no reason why. You don't need to know the reason. You know the reason. So that's my must start of the week.
When you see the Browns and then you realize it's Jamar Chase, there really isn't much of a debate on who's the must start for this week. I'm going to go a little bit off the path, but not much off the path, and I'm going to go with we're going to go with Joe Burrow at QB. I know there's a lot of quarterbacks out there.
Screw the Browns.
But you got that connection there, right? So I don't think you drafted any. There are people who drafted more than one quarterback, but if you're going to draft Joe Burrow, you'll probably take him in the third, fourth, fifth round. So that's almost a must start. I think if you're looking for,
Well, must start for week to week, right?
yeah,
Like if you're doing like a different league.
mm-hmm. So
So we want to have the Burrow to Chase combination. We're all in on that apparently.
I think you're all in on the Burrow to Chase. If you got that, if you're doing DFS, I think that's a good combo right there. You want that ladder, that setup right there. I think that's the one you're looking for. Burrow to Chase. Burrow to Chase.
Yeah. And then my dud, I think you know where I'm heading with this. I might have to pay attention all day throughout the weekend before Sunday morning to check, keep an eye on McCaffrey. That might be the dud of the week, probably be the dud. I'm hoping he starts, but he might. I would rather him just be out, so I put in another running back that might outperform him. So that's what I'm worried about. I have a decision to make with those leagues. So I'd rather they just say he's out, so I put another running back. Because if I put him in and then he's like, I can't run, my Achilles and the bilateral, blah blah blah. Oh my God, it's hurt on both sides and the top and bottom. I can't do anything. Drives me
Yeah.
crazy. But it's a calf. But anyway, this guy's just like, whatever body part he has, he can find a way to injure it. So I would stay away from McCaffrey this week, and especially week to week. Play somebody else.
Yeah, I don't disagree. My dud for this week is probably going to be Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets. I think you're going to get a very similar situation to what you had with the Philly offense, where you're going to have a quarterback who runs a lot, running game.
Especially against the Steelers defense too. But yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna, they're gonna little running game action. The Jets will be run heavy. I don't, even though Garrett Wilson's the number one, I think we're gonna see the Jets play ball control, and I think that's going to lead to Garrett Wilson not putting up the numbers that people would expect from your
So that's
1A.
why that's why you traded me Justin Fields. Is that why?
No,
Okay.
I mean Justin Fields could be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts light. I didn't trade you Garrett Wilson. Now that's yeah. But I traded you the lighter version of Jalen Hurts. So
Yeah,
I think
we only hope that Fields can actually turn things around. I like him, hoping to get some garbage time, rushing yards at the end, the dinks and dunks every
yeah.
week. But Garrett Wilson against the Steelers defense, and with Fields like to throw you into the ground, you're going to stay away from him. Okay, so that is our duds of the week. So
George of
if
the
anybody
week.
has any questions, like if you say, oh, should we start this running back or this running back, this quarterback and this quarterback, same thing with wide receivers, let us know throughout. After each segment, we will answer those questions. All right.
We did get a question about starting Golf or Caleb 4 points passing.
For, what was it? Oh, 4 points for a passing touchdown?
For it says 4 points passing, but I'm gonna assume that's 4 points
Pass. Yeah,
per
yeah. Four
touchdown.
points for passing touchdown. Who said that one? That was someone in your chat?
Yeah.
I missed it.
I recorded the question. I didn't record who. This
Ah,
was real early
you
too.
gotta give them a shout out. You gotta
In
get
the
them to know it's
chat.
their question, right? Um,
Yeah, T. It's T. User
oh,
ZDTV. User
go with
T.
a
They got
fancy
a
name.
soccer. Yeah,
All right. So
but they got
Caleb
a
versus Goff is the question.
right.
Interesting.
So you got what Chicago's playing uh
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Minnesota, and then you got Detroit over there, and you got Goff, the
Against
proven commodity.
the Packers. So it's
Packers.
kind of great. It's two divisional games. So it's an interesting
Mm-hmm.
question. They're going to be two close games, I think. And man, I actually like both of those plays because those I'm leaning towards those teams winning. Which I got the Bears being the Vikings because I'm the unknown JJ McCarthy. But um, if I had to choose one, I'm leaning towards Goff in a shootout more against the Packers, because I think the Vikings and Bears might be more low scoring. So with the possibility of the touchdowns, I'm gonna say Goff outscores Caleb by a little, maybe like an extra touchdown. So maybe it's a 4 point difference. I'm thinking.
Points. Yeah.
But yeah, it should be close. I think they're both good plays, but I would lean more towards Goff
Yeah.
over Caleb because he's more of a proven commodity as well, instead of the question mark for Caleb too.
Yeah, I think I also I'm gonna go with Goff in this one. I'll tell you why I'm gonna go with because Goff has got a shot at JMO this season, JMO Williamson. So I think Jameson is going to really expand. He's expanded his route tree. All indications this preseason point that he's going to be more of a focus of the offense. I think he's really going to open up that Detroit Lions offense. Now, granted, Detroit has lost Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, but I think they still, what happens is you have a guy who apprentices most times. So that guy's going to step it up. I think they'll still have a very similar offense. They didn't change the coaching staff, they just changed coordinators. And I think Goff will continue to have those big games. Now, the thing with Goff is he can have a huge game, or he sometimes, depending on the offense, he could have a dud of a game because they won't pass as much. But I could see Goff coming out of this game with 2 to 3 touchdowns and about 220 to 250 passing. The jury is still out on Caleb, so we'll see what happens there. But I think in this game, if you're looking for the safe bet and the better floor, you're going with Goff.
Goff it is. You hear it from the Cup of Comics and the Rising Rhino. That's what we're leaning towards on that question. All right, hopping to the flex debate. Which running back, which wide receiver, which tight end, any mix of those are we starting? So it's sort of like a position that's under the radar, a player that's under the radar or going up or has a great matchup that we want to sneak into our lineup somewhere. Maybe someone that's on the bench a bunch that we want to throw on in. I came up with 3 players that I like this week. I actually don't like many running backs this week with the matchups, and then McCaffrey injured. So I'm not a big fan of the running backs, even though I went running back heavy in my fantasy drafts. But I'll start with one of my players, and we'll rotate there. Will whoever you got. I don't know how many guys you got on your mind, on your list, but
Right.
one guy that I like is Tyler Warren of the Colts at the tight end. I know you might not want to pop that guy into your flex, but he could be even a decent play at starting tight end, a low end first tight end. But that's one of my lower picks if you're in a jam and you don't want to start on another wide receiver, because I'm down on the running backs, that I would start a tight end over running back this week. But I think with Daniel Jones, he doesn't like to throw the ball deep. He likes to go short. You know a lot about Daniel Jones from the last few years, but and he's just going to lean on the rock. And I think Warren's going to be a rock over the middle, and possibly Downs, but it's still unknown. But I watched Warren in preseason, look pretty good. I know it's preseason, but this is all you get from rookies, and He's creating separation. He's getting open. He's making those grabs, and he's an all around prospect. Could be a sneaky play at the bottom end tight end or possibly a flex.
Got it. All right. So I got a Warren for you, but I got a different Warren. I got a
Oh, I got
Jalen
him on
Warren.
my bench in a bunch of leagues, which I might have to put in because of McCaffrey. I like it.
That's my flex right. So let's talk a little bit about the Steelers. Quarterback Aaron
Hold on.
Rodgers.
Do we really want to talk about the Steelers though? I mean, do we? Do we? Are you sure you want to do this?
We don't, but we're looking for these sneaky picks, right? So this is my sneaky thing. Aaron Rodgers, older quarterback, likes to operate out of the shotgun. It means you need more of a third downish type back. Jalen Warren has proven that throughout his career that he can be that passing down type back. So I can see Jalen Warren operating with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers likes a running back that knows his assignment, knows how to pass block, knows how to catch the ball. And that's what you kind of got in Jalen Warren right there. So he's definitely going to get some action. I think the most touches. Yeah, I think the most touches he's ever gotten was 17 in a game. I can see him hitting that, if not more. He's going to get, I'm going to assume, 10 to 12 carries, maybe 15 in this game, and he'll probably get a few receptions, maybe 5 to 7 receptions. I could see this fitting in, even if he gets limited yardage, I could still see this fitting in, especially if you're in a PPR league. I think he's an excellent choice for PPR to put in that flex, especially if you're in a bigger league or if you didn't get a lot of good wide receivers. Sneak Jalen Warren in there, put him in your flex, and don't worry about getting some points in that position.
Yeah, I had Jalen Warren last year in a league or two, and he was a little disappointing. So I guess it was a year too early for that. I don't know. He was just way up and down, more downs than ups. But I did get him on one or two leagues as my main guy off the bench to put in there because I got a strong bench in a bunch of my leagues.
There you go. And if you got McCaffrey, you definitely need a strong bench.
Yeah. I hope that he is on those teams, but we'll have to see. I'll double check that later. But all right. So the next guy I like, this is probably my favorite of the. No, I'll wait on that one. I'll save my best for last. I'm gonna go Judy for the Browns against the Bengals. They're going to have to pass a lot. I think they're going to be down on the Bengals big time. So, and Judy's the only target. There was plenty of times last year where Judy just dominated. And he dominated the Broncos last year. I think that was his 200-yard game or something. And it was against the Broncos. I could be mistaken on the team, but it was like 10 receptions, 200 yards. The Browns don't have many options. I like Judy as a sneaky pick. If you can get him in your flex every week and not a starter wide receiver, that's even more amazing. That's what I like. I like Judy a lot this year.
You should know Judy too, right? Judy was he was a neighbor of yours for a little bit.
Yeah, the Broncos, and then they just tossed him aside for nothing, basically. A few low end picks.
Yeah,
I think a fifth and a seventh or something. I was just like, you're giving up this guy that you drafted so early, and yeah, and they don't even have like the best wide receivers. They got Sutton. It was like Judy and Sutton, which was all right, but now they just have Sutton and a bunch of rookies, a cast of characters, and yeah, and they got Ingram now at tight end, which is going to be their number 2. So he's going to be above all the other wide receivers. But we'll get to my Ingram love later on this year. But I like Judy as a sweet flex, so that's my second guy.
All right. This is not one of my picks, but this is a bonus pick, being that you brought up Judy. I would argue that Cedric Tillman could be a flex option over there. Before suffering from a concussion last season, he was putting up a lot of catches and some decent yardage over there for the Browns. So I would argue that guy could also steal some flex appeal.
So you're crushing my Judy pick. So you're saying, nah, maybe not. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Hey, I say in the rundown it says heated debate, so I'm heated back and forth.
It's not getting heated yet. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
My tea could use some heat. It's too early for heat.
Yeah, I was planning on starting our show all the time drinking coffee, but I need to wake up first before I have my coffee.
There you go. My flex appeal for this week and this week only. It's Matthew Golden. the rookie wide
Matthew
receiver.
Stafford?
Yes. No.
Who,
Let's hear it.
so you cut out. I heard Matthew.
Matthew Golden, wide
Golden.
receiver.
That's what I assumed. That was like that's the only other one it could be. But I just heard Stafford because come on, Golden. Everybody's loving him. I have 2 Packers fans at work, and I'm like, who's he gonna throw the ball to? And he's like Golden, and yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't know right now if you want to put him in a wide receiver 1 or 2 slot, but I think if you put him in the flex spot, you got a good shot at getting a high ceiling there.
Hold on. Stop. Wide receiver 1, Golden.
I said you don't want to put him in.
That's like redundant. We have to say that like no one's putting Golden as number 1 wide receiver, right?
Hey,
like no one, that should never happen.
It should
like,
never.
At least not yet.
Not
Maybe
yet.
Like next year, possibly if he like blows it out of the water.
I mean, I could see some people being crazy in a startup dynasty league and just going out there and drafting these rookie wide receivers first and second round.
1 of dynasty, cool. But your wide receiver, if you give Golden's your wide receiver 1, then you need to watch his show all the time. I mean, geez, Louise.
Hey, I was in a draft where Brock Bowers was the first pick with like the 5th pick of the draft. So
I saw that. I'm like, what in the world's happening? I was in there. I was watching. I was doing 3 leagues at once, and I saw that, and I was like, what in the world? I didn't check, but that might have been the person that actually got Javonte Williams and put him in the roster starting. So they obviously got an F. But if that team was the same one that took Bowers early and then took Javonte Williams late and started him, dear God, this world is upside down.
Yeah, it could work out for them. Who knows? At least this week.
All right, so let's hear why. Golden.
But Golden, right? Green Bay Packers haven't drafted a wide receiver number 1 since 2002, and I think this is the kind of pick that just gives us foresight into what Green Bay's thinking. They're thinking they have a lot of options, a lot of B options, a lot of wide receiver 2 options, which I think they do. They spread the ball like crazy every year. I think this year they were looking for the guy who they can trust. Just give him the ball, let that guy go. So I think they have all the extra pieces, and I think Golden right now is shaping up to be that 1A guy. We don't know yet because season hasn't really started yet, but I think you throw Golden in that flex spot and you won't be disappointed. I could see Golden with 8 to 10 targets at least, and for a flex position, that is not bad. As you know, we look to see where he fits in.
That's a lot.
I could see him with 60 to 70 yards, maybe some screens to break him into the NFL. And I could see a touchdown in his future. So I would say, if you're getting 8 targets, 4 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown, that is a good place to be for the flex position. And I don't think Green Bay wasted their number 1 overall pick on a wide receiver.
Funny. The Packers, they're Aaron Rodgers for years. Like we need a wide receiver. We got to take one in the first round. We got to take a wide receiver in the first round. So the Packers go and they're like, oh yeah, you need a wide receiver. We're taking a quarterback, and they take Love.
We're going to take a backup running back.
Yeah. It's like that'll shut you up there, Rodgers. You happy now?
Yeah.
So they finally took a wide receiver, and you heard it from Will. Wants to pop it in the flex spot on week 1. Don't even want to see how he does. You just want to lock it in there in the flex.
Just locking it in, in there.
My last one that I like for the flex spot before we hop to the next segment is Zay Flowers. I know not much of a passing game for the Ravens, but I think it's gonna be a shootout on Sunday night. So I'm liking that as a sneaky pick.
Yeah, I like that pick too, Zay. You don't really know, and I mean in the past, they usually went to the tight end, but I feel like Zay really
and multiple tight ends.
Yeah, multiple. I mean, yeah, I think we have Isaiah Likely. I believe is still out this week, but
yeah.
I think
you got to throw it somewhere because it's like wide receiver 1 is tight end, wide receiver 2 tight end,
right.
Wide receiver 3. Let's hand it to Henry instead of throwing. And, yeah,
it's 3rd and 6. Give it to Henry. It's like a short pass. But yeah. But I think Flowers did last year show that he's got some talent. He's ready to break out. So I do like that pick. I do like Zay. I think that's a good flex appeal. Again, I would not love Zay if he was my wide receiver one, but I would never in the past would I ever say Zay Flowers would be wide receiver one, but I did like 10 drafts this year, full disclosure, whatever. I'm sure there's somebody out there who did 15 or 20.
And then probably zillion mocks.
Yeah. And you just see some stuff. In the mocks, I'm a little bit more forgiving because people are testing things out. But when you go to a real draft and you see some of the stuff I've seen, whew, like I can't say without I used to not, I used to say, oh man, Zay Flowers, don't draft him number one with and then laugh about it. And now I can't, without a straight face. And now I say it, I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, don't take him number one. Like, because I've seen some stuff, man.
It's a running team.
I think here's a player that a lot of people are sleeping on, and I did see him fall to like the third or fourth wide receiver drafted. My flex appeal is Calvin Ridley from the Tennessee Titans. I like Calvin coming in because who else are they throwing the ball to in Tennessee? And I mean, you got a rookie quarterback there, right? But I think the quarterback's a little bit undervalued there. I've seen him drop way far in drafts, especially in like keeper leagues or dynasty leagues. Like this is a guy who should be drafted, I think, pretty early. It's a guy who gets up at 4 a.m. in the morning and puts in the work. But I think target wise, I think Calvin Ridley's a good option. Last year he didn't lead the league, but he was like top 5 in like depth of target, meaning they were throwing him the ball pretty deep downfield. I don't know if that's going to be the option this year, but Calvin Ridley operates just as smoothly out of the slot or, being a possession guy as he does being the deep guy. So Ridley's got that talent. I think people are sleeping on him. He had like a little bit of a hamstring pull. I get that. People see the Q next to the name or the little red eye.
That ugly Q. You hate to see that Q.
You do. But I think Calvin Ridley will slot in nicely into your flex position. I think, again, he can be a heavily targeted guy. There's not really a lot out there in Tennessee. I forget their tight end right now. Is it Okonkwo?
Okonkwo.
Okonkwo. He can also be a sleeper tight end there. But besides that, I think Calvin Ridley is your only other option. And
I feel like you'd want to play Okonkwo against the Colts. I don't know. I feel like he destroys the Colts and
right.
like he'll get a ton of catches against them, but against other teams, it's like, oh yeah, we got 2 targets, 1 catch for 7. It's like, what? Come on. But that's the Okonkwo apparently. But to piggyback on your Ridley, which I'm not a big fan of Ridley. I was years ago, and I don't think he hit his ceiling. So that's a little disappointing. That's why I guess he leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But I did get him in a few leagues because when the draft fell to me, he was ranked the highest all the time on my list, and it was like probably 3 or 4 leagues, and I'm like, Ridley, like every time again, and it took him every time. So I have him on like 3 leagues, and he's like one of my low end starters. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with it. The data says to go with it. This is the pick I'm supposed to take. I'm gonna take him because there is not many other targets for him. So for the team. Right. So that's why I went with him. But to piggyback, the same thing with him is with Jacoby Myers. So I got him on my team a bunch too because who else are going to throw the ball to? And I gobbled those guys up in different leagues. So hoping, being wide receiver 1 basically is going to help out your team, my team.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers actually had a pretty good take the other day, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but actually they asked him like, so what's going on with your, he asked to be traded, I guess, because it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's the one that's wants out, but I took him.
But they asked him about the trade, and they're like, so what's up, with the trade, and he just goes, they said no, and that was it. He's like,
done. No,
they said no.
Okay, moving on.
Moving to the next question. I was like, oh man, that's a great take. Just they said no. Next question.
Just no. Next question. Next topic. Trade talk and waiver wire additions. Not really much to talk about on week 1 heading into the season. So no. Going to Dynasty Stashes
I do have
and
one.
Future Gold.
Since you said you don't like him, I guess my one trade. I would argue my one trade to trade for now before the price goes up. Calvin Ridley. Go out and get Calvin Ridley when you can, if you can cheaply.
Get him on the cheap. Trade before the season starts if you missed him. Touches equals points, says the Birdwatcher. Yeah, he ran a fantasy football show for years, or like putting out reports for fantasy football in the early 2000s for years on top of years. So touches equal points is his little comment. But Dynasty Stashes and Future Gold, well, this one should be quick. Probably giving one each, unless you have more. And I know you have. I know you know mine. Mine that I love. I'm not gonna go with the main guys in the first, second round. There's one guy I love. Let's see. Will knows it. Who is it?
One guy you love
For Dynasty. The
Dynasty.
stash on your roster.
Ah, man, I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue.
I drafted him. You mentioned it in fantasy. In the fantasy draft, you made that comment.
Ah, yes. The what's his face? Wide receiver.
No, running back.
Oh, the running back.
Not Trent Richardson.
Oh, what did I say? Sheesh.
You're half asleep. It's all good. DJ Giddens.
Giddens. I did. I said Giddens during the draft, and you were like, "Come on, stop playing."
Yeah, you gave it away earlier. Be quiet. I'm gonna get him in like the last round. But you know,
That's right. I did say Giddens.
You know, I love this pick, not just because I'm a Colts fan, but partially because I'm a Colts fan, of course. But this one actually has merit, has reason. I used to stash, the backup running backs for the Colts just because I loved it. Loved the Colts for years. So I always wanted the, Colts running back on my team. But this one makes sense. The fifth round rookie out of Kansas, he moved up to number 2 in the depth chart, okay? And he's behind Jonathan Taylor. And what do we know about Jonathan Taylor? He loves to get injured. He is like McCaffrey. He's the McCaffrey of the Colts, okay? So he can't stay healthy, and he's going to miss some games, and I hope he doesn't because Colts fan. But if he misses games, who's going to step up but Giddens? And he's got the quickness. He also might get a lot of action on third downs, which you could get him sooner in your lineup rather than later with a 1-2 punch. I know Taylor's going to be the bell cow, but Giddens, with any sort of injury, any sort of boost, this guy's going to be flying up the radar. And he just, nobody took him. I was able to get him in like almost all of my leagues. Like right in like the second to last round before a kicker, I would take Giddens. Like for years, people would always handcuff their superstar running backs. They would handcuff McCaffrey. They would handcuff any guy like you take in the first round. So Gibbs, you want to handcuff him, and nobody was doing that with Jonathan Taylor. I don't understand what people are doing in all the leagues that I've been doing. No one's handcuffing him. It just boggles my mind. So right. This is the advice you should have like a couple weeks ago. If you have Jonathan Taylor, you need to handcuff him. Unless I went out of my way and screwed those guys over because I didn't get Jonathan Taylor in the league. So I went and got Giddens. So whoever had them, I just think you got to back them up with a handcuff.
No, and I made the joke about Giddens the other day, but that was definitely something that it was on your radar. And I don't disagree with that. That was a big thing back in the day, right? Was you took your superstar running back, and then it was always like, let's say Denver, right? It was always about the system. So you always tried to grab whoever was one, and then in case he got hurt, you always tried to grab his backup when the Broncos were, crushing it in those Terrell Davis and then post Terrell Davis days when they literally threw in anybody, and those guys ran for 1,300 to 2,000 yards.
So many no-name guys that became names on that Broncos system. Oh man, there were so many of them. I can't remember. It was like Michael something. Oh man.
Oh yeah, they had some. Oh.
Can't even remember. There's so many. They just like, oh, we're gonna start this running back. I'm like, who? And then next week, everybody's picking them up off the waiver wire and throwing them in the lineup, getting over 100 yards. So I'm like,
was one of them Mike Anderson or something like that?
Yeah, that's it, Mike Anderson. Exactly. That's the guy I was thinking of. Nice teamwork.
Yeah, and TD was like a 6th round pick out of Georgia. Like they just drafted guys and
Hall of Famer.
fit. Yeah, they just fit into the system. It was kind of sad about Terrell Davis because his career was cut short, but he had like amazing stats for like the 4 or 5 years that he was like phenomenal.
Yeah, the best running back in the league for years because they were just like, all right, what play should we call? Just give it to Davis. Just
Yeah,
give it to TD. Okay,
right?
all right.
Yeah, he's got a migraine. Give it to him anyway, or fake it to him, and then throw out of that.
Exactly.
Orioles Birdwatcher says, yeah, when drafting, I was never put off by a player because he wasn't sexy or if the team they played for was bad. Someone's getting points and targeting those dudes in later rounds is key. So that was great point right there.
Gotta stay away from the sexy move. Gotta go with consistency.
I guess it's my turn. I got a running back. It's Kylie Minogue.
Oh, baby.
Kyle
If I was
Monangai.
awake, I would start singing one of the songs, but I can't think right now.
Kyle Monangai over in Chicago, rookie running back. Monangai. He's a fun guy, Monangai.
Was he a mushroom?
He's a fun guy. I mean, right now he's currently third on the depth chart, but there's nothing sexy about Chicago Bears.
He's going to go move up to 2. I agree. I concur.
He's going to move up at some point during the season. Swift right now is the number 1 guy, but he's a smaller guy. He's a Jahmyr Gibbs like super light. So, he's not. I don't think he's that same talent, but he's a similar type back. But I think Monangai is just. Swift has progressively declined over the years.
Going to be a dumpster fire soon, right into the dumpster fire.
Yeah. There's nothing sexy about the running backs. And sometimes when you have fresh legs, that's all you need. So Monangai is kind of my little keeper. Stash him in there. Hope he's around,
I already did that in the Dynasty League I'm in with you there, Will. We went and did our 3-round draft. I have a lot of guys that I was like, let me just take some flyers, and Monangai was out there, and I threw him on my roster on the waivers and got him. So he's on my roster. We're going to give you the advice, and we're actually following our own advice. So we're not hypocrites up in here. I have Monangai. I like to pick, and I'll be rooting for him. Because in a Dynasty League, you have them forever. You got to get these guys early, because if you wait for 1 second, next thing you know, you don't have them forever. So, you got to get him. Because there's one guy in baseball, I was like, oh, he's going to be coming up maybe in like a month. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The next thing you know, he gets called up the next day. I'm like, I just read he's like a month away. And they call him the next day, and I look to find him, and who picks him up? This guy. Will picks him up in fantasy baseball. It was the guy on the Washington Nationals, right? What's his name?
Juan Soto.
Juan flippin' Soto. I was like, he was like third on my list, but I'm like, I got time on him. Bam, no time. Will swooped in. I was at work. He comes in and picks him up before I get home, and he had him for so long.
I think last week he put up, he was number 2 in fantasy points last week, but I think right now he's number 3 or number 4 in fantasy sports. So, hey, sometimes you got to take a flyer. And I think he was he 20 or 21? He was definitely
20.
real young.
He came up at 20.
Yeah, so he was definitely real young when he came up. And sometimes you got to take a flyer. And I was like,
I know. There was nobody I wanted to drop on my little, I forget what they call it in baseball, but you get those 3 players. I forget what we have the taxi squad from the NFL, but I was like, I'm gonna move them.
We had the minor league roster.
Yeah, the minor league. Yeah, so yeah,
it's now 4 slots in that league.
But I was keeping an eye on him, and they're like, yeah, he's more than a month away. Bam, they're calling him up. That made me so mad. And I guess you guys know a little bit about Juan Soto, but I think he's doing all right still.
Yeah, this was from early in the show. I don't know if we hit on it, but Boy on my side was asking, should I keep AJ? Did you cover that already?
AJ no, I didn't. I didn't see it. I just saw that he was like, AJ Brown. You gotta wait. Hopefully he bounces back next week, and then if he goes really high, then trade him.
I don't think you drop him. You can't just drop him. And I feel like some websites might not even let you drop him if they have like first round whatever locks on. Yeah, I mean, if you want to take a shot, if you think you have somebody sexy on the bench, you want to give a shot. But I don't think you drop AJ Brown right now because he's going to hit you off with a big game every once in a while.
And then that's when you take over and trade them at the high point. You can't trade. You don't sell stocks when they dip. You sell them at the top.
At the
All
peak.
right, the last and final segment before the closing, and if we have any other questions, we got 12 minutes for this. This one's going to be the longest segment, and we only have 12 minutes, but we'll do the best we can. It is the sixth topic of the day. It's the pick six of the day. It's the Daniel Jones special. I don't want to call it that. I don't know why I said that. We got to give it to somebody else. Whoever throws tons of pick sixes. Maybe Jameis Winston, but he's not starting. Daniel Jones is actually starting. Never mind. Let's erase that from memories. It's not the Daniel Jones special. I ruined it forever, didn't I?
Welcome to the Daniel Jones Club.
This is the worst. I hate you, Daniel Jones. I should have worn my jersey for now. But we're going to give you one quarterback, one running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 defense, the pick six. 6 players you want to put in your roster. They may be super studs, they may be iffy, they may be little guys that we think are going to break out this week due to the matchup or the data. This week is more feel. Like I said, we're running on less info, so it's going to get better as we go. But I'll start it off with a quarterback, Bo Nix. Against the Titans. I know that it's his second year. He had a good year last year. He grew a lot, but they're playing against the Titans defense. Titans are bad. They don't have a defense. And out of all the quarterbacks, I like that one because it might not cost you the most amount of money if you're doing like, DFS, right? That's what it's.
Yeah, DFS, daily fantasy. And we'll get better at the DFS as we go.
Yeah. This is more of like a DFS segment, but I like Bo Nix. It's not one of the top quarterbacks, but he could be a top quarterback. So you save a little money there and go with Bo Nix against the Titans.
Nice. Not to pile on, but I do want to go to a Colts game with you, but I want to wear a Daniel Jones Giants jersey.
I bought one. I have one. I got it for $25.
Yes. That is what I want to do. It's really still expensive, slightly expensive? Saquon Barkley Giants jerseys.
Oh, yeah? Well, because he's actually really good,
He's pretty good.
He went to a team and wins the Super Bowl. Daniel Jones goes to a team and wins the... All right, moving on. Go ahead.
All right, my DFS pick, and we talked about this earlier. This is going to cost you a lot of money, but probably not as much as let's say, Lamar Jackson or an Allen. It's going to cost you. But I'm looking at Joe Burrow. I'm looking to stack Joe Burrow. But my DFS pick for this week, Joe Burrow. I look at the team he's playing and I say, how can it not be a great?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a safe bet. Lock it in. You want to save a little money? Then I'm leaning towards Bo Nix. Okay,
yeah, because the guys I'm looking at, the other guys you're looking at, if you're looking at a top tier quarterback, are just the defenses they're playing are pretty good. So, but Joe Burrow, defense he's playing, not so good.
All right, let's hear your running back of the week.
My running back of the week surprise pick here. We got JT. We got Jonathan Taylor.
You stole my pick. That is our pick, apparently. I knew I should have went first. I should have stolen it from you, but once again, you're stealing one of my picks in fantasy. So
there we
nothing
go.
New here.
Hey man, you took Kraft the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take Kraft." Nobody's looking at Kraft, and you drafted him, and I'm like,
Yeah, I was looking at Warren, and then Kraft was my second guy, and Warren wasn't available. So there you go.
There you go. But Jonathan Taylor, I'm predicting big things from him this season, but I'm also predicting big things from him this week. Fresh legs. Let's go, Jonathan Taylor. If you need a 1B pick, I know we don't have that, but I'm looking at King Henry.
King Henry, solid on the ground. Birdwatchers liking Jaden Daniels. I might be a little biased because big time Orioles fan and Commanders fan. So
what I will say about Jaden Daniels is the rushing yards may be an issue. New York Giants were actually one of the better defenses at stopping running quarterbacks last season.
All right, so we got biased opinion against biased opinion to equal out to get a fair opinion. I like it. All right, wide receiver. I'm going to go boring and play off of Will's quarterback pick. Burrow's got to throw to somebody, and the best wide receiver in the league. I'm going Jamar Chase. We're kind of
You
being
stole
boring.
my pick.
No, I didn't tell you. You're joking, right?
No, I
You
had.
want the
I
Burrow to
was doing
Chase
the stack.
combo? Yeah,
Nope.
we're big on the Bengals this week apparently. So no surprise there. I went lower on the quarterback with Bo Nix and higher on the Jamar Chase. But yeah, if you go Burrow as a quarterback, it's kind of hard to go Chase as well because usually those are good. You got to spread the money out somewhere, but
You do.
maybe those will be your two splurges, and then you got to find some sneaky picks later.
All
So
right. I have a discount pick now because you picked. So if you're going with the stack, right, but you're looking for something good, I would say throw in Ricky Pearsall as your as a
Pearsall on the Niners.
on
Everybody's
the
liking that guy. I'm not high on him yet. I'm not.
But who did the Niners don't have much? Juwan Jennings, he's probably going to play, but he's been out with an injury. Brandon Ayuk, he's out. I mean, you could look at Kerry Kittles, but he's going to cost you a lot at that tight end position.
Did you just call him Kerry Kittles?
I did call him Kerry Kittles.
Just do,
little,
are the
little.
people on the football show gonna know about Kerry Kittles?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I like it. I think it's hilarious.
New York.
That was my big time NBA collecting, basketball cards.
I was gonna say Brooklyn Nets, but probably he was probably part of the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah,
if you think
definitely a New
about it.
Jersey Nets player,
Mhm.
Kerry Kittles.
But he
My
was a
sister
good.
loves George Kittle. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of George Kittle. And what makes your pick Pierce a little bit better with the McCaffrey big ugly Q. So
Yeah. So that's my discount pick. I just kind of pulled it off the heap because you took Jamar Chase. So we'll throw in Ricky Pearsall. You
Ricky Pearsall, yeah.
want me to do the second wide receiver? I could take
Go
this
for
one.
it. Go for it.
Nico Collins. I think Nico
Nico.
Collins. Nico Collins he had a breakout. He's been having breakout years, and I think this year is the year that Nico proves that he is that top tier wide receiver. And I think this week they go out and they show the world, especially with the running back situation not being that great. Chubb is basically the only guy there, Nick Chubb. So I think you're going to get a lot of three yards in a cloud of dust. That's going to lead to a lot of passing downs. Nico Collins, my wide receiver 2 for this week.
Okay. I went with Amon-Ra St. Brown against Packers. Goff's main target, liking him, leaning towards him in a shootout against Green Bay. I'm not impressed about the Packers defense yet. We'll see how they do, but that's why I'm leaning against Amon-Ra. I feel like he's always open, and he holds a grudge for getting picked so late in the draft. Like he has on a list of all the wide receivers taken before him, and he just that just destroys him to the core, and he just wants to outshine all those guys every single day.
His jersey number is supposed to be the amount of receivers who was drafted before him, but his girlfriend was the one who counted, and she was one off. So his jersey's actually one number off from the amount of people who was drafted before him. But it's worked out for him. I mean, he's got a good number, so it's worked out.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I think we're moving on to tight end, aren't we? Here's my tight end pick. We talked about it. Who do they have to throw the ball to? We're going to the 49ers again. We're going with Kittles at the tight end position. I think Kerry Kittles.
Kerry's back.
We're going with he's back. He's back for a hunt. But yeah, again, if you think about it, and I believe I haven't checked out all the prices. We'll get better at this, I think, as we go. But I believe you can still stack Kittles and Pearsall if you're looking to hit that double stack. Some people like to pick a team. And I think the 49ers, those are the two options they have, especially with that Q, as we were saying, around the running back position. If that doesn't pan out, if we have a last-minute benching, I think the receiving game, you'll get Kittles in the short game, and you'll get Pearsall probably in the screen game as well, and maybe some deep passes.
Deep passes. Yeah, we'll probably have to pop in, some numbers for the players, the current numbers.
Yeah.
To give people a little more insight, and also maybe giving, for each one we give a high and a low. so that depending on how they draft, how they're looking to pick their team or what they have two options. You know, the top prospect and then the lower one, which huge upside. But which I'll do right now for a tight end. I'm going McBride, kind of boring because it's top guy. If you're going to pay top dollar for the Cardinals, otherwise, if you want to save a little bit of money, I would go the Colts tight end and hope big things for Tyler Warren. All right, so
Go.
those are my two little picks. If you want top or bottom, I mean Warren's not gonna be totally bottom, but it'll save you a bunch of money because if you're gonna go Burrow and Chase, you can't go McBride as well. So
Right.
yeah, so then I would lean more towards like Warren for the Colts.
For the Colts. Yeah, I think you got to save a little bit of money if you throw Warren in there. You'll be able to get your roster.
Yeah,
going.
yeah. I don't know about the touchdowns as of yet with Daniel Jones, but targets should be way up, and a lot of receptions. And I think he can break tackles. I think he's pretty fast for a tight end. So give him some open space. He could be dangerous.
Yes.
Defense, the last one of the bunch, as we're in the final minute countdown. Oh, we already passed the 2-minute warning, so we should add that to the segment. All right, let's go. Defense, let's hear it.
Defense. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals, right? I'm looking to save money on my defense. So I'm gonna cut it. You know, Bengals defense is horrible. Don't get me wrong, but we have the Browns. We're talking about the Browns.
We're talking about the Browns here.
Yeah. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to save money. We're looking not to get negative points. And when I look at that Browns offense, I don't see anything that scares me. So I'm not looking at the Cincinnati Bengals in terms of losing points. I'm looking at getting a few points out of the Bengals defense, saving some money so I can spend it on other positions. And so I have the Cincinnati Bengals as my DFS and just the weekly defensive pick for this week.
Yep. That's pretty good. And to just follow our theme of the day, apparently we're big on the Bengals, low on the Browns, big on the Broncos, low on the Titans. So I got the Broncos defense.
There you go.
You know, they're just gonna crush them. They're gonna crush the Titans. And just a little sneak pick. If you don't know what defense to pick whoever's playing the Saints. That's a good bet too. Even if they're not a good defense, you could get a sneaky pick six from Rattler or Shuck or whoever's grandma's playing quarterback out there for the Saints. But that's our pick six. That's our show. We're going to go and mix things up, answer your questions all the way throughout. We got to close up shop. We got to head to work. Ignoring your Browns' warnings by the delay. We're not following it. We don't like it. It's the Browns. I don't care. It's a new season. It's Flacco. I watched Flacco last year. It was bad. The team got worse. It didn't get better. Everybody thinks their team's going to do better. The only teams that didn't get better through the draft or free agency is like the Browns and the Saints. It's insane. All right, we're closing up shop.
Got time for one quick question before we go.
Go.
Who do you think is the best fantasy option from the Bears? Go. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. No options.
The sneaky pick, it's a flex pick, would be Colson Loveland, the tight end, taking over for Cole Kmet. But I wanted to say DJ Moore. I'm like, should I do it? I'm like, no. But I like Loveland off the bench and stashing him as well in Dynasty or whatever. But closing up shop, Friday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. every week right here, Fantasy News before the weekend. Will shut it down. Shut it down now. Close it up.
Fantasy football fam and fans, it's time to go. We got to go to work. We got to get out of here. But thank you for joining us. We're shutting it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Peace out, guys. We love you.
Shut it down, but we got to start up our day. So I got to get ready. I got to head to work. Thanks for coming out. We're doing this every week. We're going all season long. Get ready to start your day and weekend fantasy style. Drink your coffee. Drink your tea. And let's rock and roll. Thanks, Rhino Nation. Thanks, everybody on the Cup of Comic side. Shutting it down. See you next Friday morning. And we'll talk about how great our picks were. See you later.
Bring your questions.
More questions.
Bring your questions next week. Let's go.
That's right.